I know this is going to be a shock and it's gonna come as a surprise to many of you, I know. But I felt that I needed to share this journey with you all so that you can also see the miracle in it, and yeah, and everything in between, really. I know you're wondering, what is it? Well, I hope you have time because it's quite a lot to unpack. Yeah, so towards the end of September, yeah, it was towards the end of September, I was unwell, and the best way to explain how I felt was sort of an exhaustion, feeling really tired, feeling a sensation of like you're catching a cold, or you know, I don't know, that kind of feeling. It's like the first thing I felt was like you know, I think I'm getting a cold. So I remember I took a Panadol and I went to bed. The next day it kept on, and then the third day it kept on, and then on the third day it had gotten a bit worse and a bit of uncomfortable. Even going up the stairs was a bit, I was feeling exhausted going up, and my body was in pain, really pain, that even pain and tired, and I would sleep the whole day if I could. Going up the stairs was a chore, was painful. I don't know, it was just strange feeling. So I thought, okay, let me go see a doctor, you know, and see what's the issue is, because, you know, I just said maybe the weather is changing, and now, you know, you've had all these things of you know, flu and all that. So I thought, am I catching a flu? What is this really? So I went to see the doctor, and I said, you know, I explained to her, I said, you know, I'm exhausted and my body's in pain, really pain, and I'm just tired. I just want to sleep the whole day if I could. And yeah, a very strange sensation, very strange feeling. It's like someone had knocked me down, or you've done a lot of hard work, labor, you know, like when, you know, you go to the, you know, I don't know, like I don't know, it's a labor job, you know, you feel your body is exhausted, you've gone to the gym, you've overworked your body, and your muscles are, you know, you're aching, and I don't know, it's just a strange sensation that I can't even articulate and put it in the right words, really. So then the doctor said to me, okay, but I had no fever, I had no headache, I was not coughing, I had no body temperature. So the doctor said, it's a bit strange. Anyway, so she advised, let's do a blood test. So then they took blood, and then you know, they sent it to the laboratory, of course, and then a day later, yeah, the results came back, and you know, my red blood cells, yes, my red blood cells were very high. My hemoglobin was low, my white blood cells were low, thyroid, all those things. You know, everything was low. But it was not a surprise to me because I'm sickly. I'm sickle cell anemic. It's genetic. You know, you inherit from your parents. Apparently, you have no choice. And so I wasn't really shocked or, you know, surprised to get these results of, you know, my blood being low and all that. I'm actually quite used to that because most of the time when I get ill, when I'm unwell, you know, and they do blood tests normally. Most of the time, that's the diagnosis. So I'm used to that. So I wasn't really shocked or anything really. And then, so I said, so what do we do then? And then the doctor said, okay, yeah, it's you just need to eat well and drink a lot of fluids and eat balanced diet, meals, fruits and veggies, and take rest, sleep as much as you can. Just take care of yourself, because your body, you to build your immune, to build, for your body to so that you can have energy, and then take vitamins. So she gave me some whatever I needed to buy for the vitamins, and then I came back home, and then a day later, 2 days later, after this now, I started. It just kept going. The tiredness, the exhaustion, the feeling of I just want to sleep the whole day. My body was in pain, really pain. There was a day I slept the whole day. I didn't even go downstairs. So, but then on the 3rd, to be specific, on the 3rd of October, I woke up really exhausted, really, really tired, and I dragged myself to take shower. But then I realized when I was in the shower, I couldn't smell the shower gel. So I said, okay. And then after that, get ready, go downstairs, put perfume on, and then prepare breakfast. I had perfume on, I couldn't smell. And then even when we cooked the food, I couldn't smell. I couldn't smell the breakfast in the morning. And then later in the day, I baked a cake also. I couldn't smell the cake. So that was a bit strange. And then I called the clinic again. And I said, may I talk to Dr. So-and-so, please? And they said, yes. She was a bit busy at that time. So then she called me back when she was free. And I said to her, I don't know, I think I've lost my sense of smell. And she said, you've done what? And I said, I think I've lost my sense of smell. And she said, why? I said, because I can't smell anything. I don't smell my perfume. I don't smell the food. I baked a cake. I can't even smell. So I don't smell anything, and nothing tastes. But for the test of, for the food test, my taste buds, I wasn't really concerned that much, because when you are not feeling well, sometimes you sort of lose your taste, your mouth, I think, So I wasn't really worried, but then losing the smell, that was a bit strange, to be honest. So then she said to me, I'm worried. I said, why are you worried? Because she had actually advised me that, I needed to take rest, and then if things don't change, she would send me to a specialist, or or I might need blood transfusion. So when she said I'm worried, I said, do you think I need to get the blood transfusion now? And she said, Fauza, no, I'm worried because losing your sense of smell, that's one of COVID symptoms. That's one of the signs of COVID. So I said to her, do you think I might have it? And she said, no, we can only tell after you've done the test. So please, Fauza, go get the COVID test done so that we can be able to rule out that. And then if whatever results you will get, then we can better say, okay, do I need to send you to get the blood transfusion or see the specialist, or what do I really need to do with you then? So I said, okay, so I drove myself. There are so many drive-through COVID testing centers in Dubai. And so I jumped in the car, feeling really tired. I was dragging myself, and so I went. And I got the test done. You drive through, They, you pay and then they come, the nurse swab, gets the swab and then you drive out. So I did that. But I don't know, I wasn't really, I don't know, it's very weird because it's just my body that was in pain. But I had no any other issues really. Like I said, I had no fever, I wasn't coughing, I had no body temperature, I had nothing of that. I was just tired and my body was in pain. Sitting on the bed or on the sofa was hurting, lying down on the bed was painful. So that was really strange. So anyway, so I got the test done and then 24 hours later, it takes 24 hours, I got the text on my phone and it said, "Dear Fauza," with all the other names that I've been given, "Your COVID test reported that your result is positive, indicating that you have the virus. You will be contacted soon." And then there was a link there that came with the message, that came, on the message, on the text message. Please follow this link to learn on how you can isolate. And someone would, contact me later. So I'm sitting down there in disbelief, and it was just weird, really, really strange. The thought of COVID was the least in my tiny mind, in my little world. All I knew was, I might get blood transfusion because of my blood issues, because of my sickle cell, issues and all that. But the issue of COVID was the least in, honestly, the thought was I can't tell you, it was the last thing I was thinking of. So I was just in disbelief when the text message came. And at that time, I remember it was on a Sunday then. Dolph had just gotten back from work, and I was seated in the dining area, just like a zombie, trying to think where would have I maybe gotten it, where could have I been maybe, I don't know, I was just contemplating and trying to think of where I might have gotten it, and so I was really in my own world. And then Dolph came home and was like, "Are you okay?" I mean, he knew I was not, he knew that I was having this issue with my blood and my body getting exhausted and tired and pain and all that. So I gave him the phone and he said, "Oh, what?" And then there was chaos in the house, and I don't know how I felt. I was confused. I have COVID? Really? I was not feeling well, but didn't think of COVID. It was not in my thoughts. And so because the text message came with, you need, here is the link to follow on how you can learn to isolate. So I came upstairs and, went to my room, into my bedroom, and I picked everything that I needed that I needed. And my laptop, my mobile, my Bible, my iPad, and a book. I was reading The Battlefield of the Mind by Joyce Meyer, so I took that with me. And then, and then I picked everything that I needed, and I went to the guest room, and I dumped everything on the ground, literally, honestly, I put everything on the ground, and I sat down on the bed, and I was just crying. I was just in tears. I was confused, I was in disbelief. I didn't know what to do, I didn't know how to react, and it was just weird and really, really strange. And about 7 p.m., Dubai Health Authority called me to check on me and also to talk to me and also to take me through the process and all that of isolation. And the first thing I remember they asked me was, no, the first thing they said to me is, please don't be afraid. Don't be afraid, and know that we are here to help and to support. So please don't be afraid. That was the first thing they said to me when the woman on the other line said from Dubai Health Authority. And then of course they asked me, do you have other healthy issues like diabetic or high blood pressure or any other health issues? And then they asked me, why did I decide to do a COVID test? Why did I choose to do the test done? And I told her that I wasn't feeling well, and so then I had lost my sense of smell. And when I called the clinic from the doctor who I had seen who did my blood test, she advised me that it's good if I can get the COVID test done. So, and then she was like, okay. So she asked me, where do you live? And I explained everything. Do you have extra room that you can isolate at home on your own? And or you have or do you need to be on a governmental center? And I said, no, I have extra room in the house with bathroom. In fact, I'm already on isolation, because that's what the text message advised me to do. And then she said, okay, that's very good. So I'm luckily, because I had no other health issues like diabetic, high blood pressure, all those things, I didn't have to go to the centers. I could actually isolate from home. So that was really, I'm grateful for that, honestly. And so the journey started in disbelief, in denial, in confusion. I didn't know how I felt, honestly. I knew I was tired, my body was fighting something, but in my tiny mind, I knew it's because of my blood issues. So anyway, the second day of isolation, I woke up with a very dry nose. My nose was really dry. I couldn't breathe through my nose. Not that I had issues with breathing, but my nose was so dry, so that breathing through my nose was hurting. So I was then forced to breathe through my mouth, and that was really annoying. So that was on the second day. And then on the third day, I woke up, I'm still exhausted, my body is really tired, and but then my nose was less dry, so that was really a relief for me. And I don't know, this whole journey of COVID and isolation, and it's like every day you wake up and you don't know what's gonna happen. So you just have to take it a day at a time. And on the third day, I woke up still really exhausted, but my nose was okay, and I was able to breathe through my nose. So that was a relief for me also. But then I had diarrhea. Sorry about that. I can laugh about it now. I had diarrhea. And then I had, it was after breakfast, I remember, and then I had like a rumbling in my stomach. And that was it. It was really terrible. But then that was it, and then never had it again. On the fourth day, I woke up feeling now less exhausted. My body was regaining its power over the virus, I think, and I was feeling a bit less of the exhaustion. And on the fifth day, I woke up feeling much better. And like I said, you wake up and you don't know what's going to happen. You just have to take a day at a time. The fifth day, I remember I had a terrible headache, really bad headache. And I don't know, I just couldn't understand why. but I just had headache, you know. And in the with Dubai Health Authority, there is this COVID app. They call it DXB Smart COVID, where you sign up there, then you get actually care 24/7. And so I texted them to get a call back. You know, you could text there so that you can get a call back. So I did that, and then they called me, and I said, I'm just having headache, and they told me that's one of the symptoms. So just take care, rest well, and drink a lot of water, drink a lot of liquids, you know, and all that. You just need to I don't know, it's very strange virus, really strange. And so, yeah, but it's like every day there was something. And then on the 6th day I was fine, 7th day I was fine, the 8th day I was fine. On the 9th day I woke up. I mean, every day for me waking up was a blessing. I mean, every day when I open my eyes, I'm thankful. I'm thankful to be alive, really. That I can see, I can breathe, I can feed myself, I can eat, I can hear, I can see, I can't smell anything, but I had my hands, they're okay, my legs are okay. I still have my body, even in the days when it was fighting the virus, but I still, so every day was a blessing, really, every day was a blessing for me. And on the 9th day, I had this blanket of heaviness and really an anguish of emotion, which I have no idea where it came from, and I was just crying, and crying, and I don't know. It was just emotional, draining. And so, yeah, it's like every day is a blessing, and every day you take a day after time. And then, you know, I went on, and, you know, but on the 10th day, I was okay. I was really fine, and I couldn't feel any exhaustion, or the pain was gone, the tiredness was gone, and you know, and all that. And you know, I had to be in isolation for 2 weeks. You know, you all know that. So even if I was okay from the 10th day of my isolation, I was still supposed to be, you know, in isolation and quarantine. So I was still locked in my own room. And you know, I know by now you're wondering, did she take any medication? No. You know, there is nothing specific, there is no specific medication for COVID, you know, and there is no specific treatment either. So the only thing that I was often told by the doctors is make sure you rest well, drink a lot of liquids, and you know, eat well, and just take care. And of course, the doctor who did my blood, and like I said, she had told me to take some vitamins, so I've been taking that also. But there was no medication. I cannot say that there is any medication that I was given, because there is no medication for COVID. And so, yeah, some of my friends said, you know, tell your husband or your nanny, you know, to take ginger or lemon, and you know, and then let it boil, and then drink that with honey. And then you know, one of my other friends said garlic. Apparently garlic has healing properties, that they actually can kill virus. So they would crush the garlic and then put hot water, and then I would, you know, they would let it cool, and then they would bring it for me, and I would drink. That was not doctor's recommendation, but you know, it's what, you know, I want to call it the grandma recipes now. So yeah, but yeah, and the overall experience I can say was, the isolation was, see them literally. I mean, you don't see them because my door was always closed. I was on isolation room. Everything, my food, if I needed something, they would leave it outside by the door, and then I would take and feed myself, or anything that I needed, they would leave outside the door. And then once in a while my husband would come and he would stand outside the door and he would just catch up with me. How are you feeling? And that was really hard. You feel lonely. In the dark, when everyone is sleeping, you're alone with your thoughts. It feels lonely. And that was really the hardest thing for me, staying and focused, with all this in my mind wasn't easy, to be honest. I want to be honest here. It wasn't really easy. And my son Jasper would once in a while stand outside and say, "Mama, I love you. See you soon, and we are praying for you." But you can't hug, you cannot do anything. There is no emotional connection there. In this isolation thingy, it's just strange, and it does something with your mind. And so emotional, I think I would say I was emotional struggling. I had sleepless nights, there were days where I would wrestle with my thoughts, and I would, when you see in the news, you see there were people who have died of COVID, and it creates a lot of fear. I don't know, it feels really strange, and all I can say is mentally it does something with you. And yeah, I missed my husband, and I missed Jasper. I mean, we were in the same house, but I was locked up, in isolation, and you feel lonely. You do feel lonely. So, and that was really, really the hardest thing for me, to do. And yes, it was a struggle, but I am thankful. I am thankful that even in the moments of fear, worry and wondering, and I knew I was not alone. I mean, my family was in the building. They would talk to me outside, but inside sometimes it felt lonely. It really did. And that's the hardest thing. So, you have to find a way, and for me, as a believer, the only way to stay positive is speaking the word. And I mean, I was praying every day. Even in the days when I would be broken, I would cry, and then I would pray and thank God for my life, that I woke up, that I'm alive, Even in those moments, I would cry and I would still thank God. I will be grateful that I woke up, that I have my hands, I can hear, I can touch. I don't have my sense of smell, but that's okay. But everything else I have. And I'm just thankful for that, And I don't know, I just knew that things were working together for my own good. Even in those moments of emotional breakdown, of feeling lonely, of my body fighting the virus and all that, I knew things were working together, And in Isaiah 55, the scripture says, "For as the rain and the snow come down from heaven and do not return there, but water the earth, making it bring forth and sprout, giving seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goes out from my mouth. It shall not return to me empty." but it shall accomplish that which I purpose, and shall succeed in the thing for which I sent it. You know, I had to do self-talk, really talking to myself and really being intentional and taking and hold on. Yes, I have days where I get dry nose. You know, I had days where I would break down emotionally. Really, I would just cry, honestly. Some days I would have headache, and you know, I've said all those things, but I knew that even in this I wasn't alone. You know, there was just that hope that yes, I'm in this room on my own, but God is with me. That's what I had to speak the word. I had to do self-talk. I had to talk to myself. I had to tell myself that, you know, things will be okay. Things will be okay. And so I had to walk, I had to isolate by faith. Yes, that's the word. I had to isolate by faith and not by what I was feeling. Because how I felt was the opposite of even what the word says. So I had to speak the truth. I had to stand on the truth of the word and proclaim it. You know, and speaking it loud and proclaiming my healing. You know, every time one of my friends said to me, Fauza, every time you inhale life. Every time you exhale the virus out. Yeah. Yeah. I had to do something. This was a fight. And the battle was not only in my body. The battle was also in the mind. My body was telling me other things, the mind was telling me something else, and the word is telling me something else. So I had to talk to myself and to stand firm and stand in the word that yes, the body is tired, the body is in pain, the mind is confused, the mind, I'm emotional, all those things, but the word says it will not go back without fulfilling that which God has sent it to do. I had to trust fully. I had to fully trust that all things were working together for my own good. And Jeremiah 30:17 says, "But I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord." Isaiah 41:10 says, "Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." I had to do something, really, otherwise I would have gone mad. Yes, I had to do something differently. I had to talk to myself. I had to isolate in faith because everything else wasn't in standing in the truth. So I had to speak the faith and really make myself believe it, that I'm healed. You know, the Bible says by his stripes we are healed. So I had to proclaim. When I inhale life. I inhale healing. When I exhale, the exhaustion, the fear, the emotion breakdown, the confusion, the everything. I had to exhale all that. I had to do something. But I'm grateful. Because the miracle of all this, I want to tell you, is that the time that I was sick, I was in my bedroom, you know. I mean, life was going on despite the fact that I was sick, but we had a life in the house before the chaos started. And so my husband, I mean, we shared the same bed before the time I was, you know, when I started feeling unwell to the time of getting the COVID test done, you know, and getting the results and the isolation. I mean, we were living in this house. But the good news is, it's not even good news, the miracle of this is, he didn't get the virus. He didn't get sick. Dolph didn't get sick. How miraculous during, you know, that time after 2 days before I did the test, where did I go? You know, all those things, and the only person that I had seen apart from my family was the doctor who had to do my blood test and all that. Because apparently, because we didn't know, but technically I had already the virus. And, you know, it takes, when you spend time with someone who is COVID positive for 15 minutes, there is a bigger chance that you might get it. But all what I'm trying to say here is, this was a miracle because Dolph didn't get sick and we shared the same bed for that time. Between, you know, me getting sick and, you know, losing my sense of smell and getting the COVID test done and getting the results and isolation. I mean, life was going on. So I'm just thankful that really, even in that moment, that God did something. And that was something that even when I felt lonely, I knew that He has done a miracle, because otherwise I don't know how to put it. My son didn't get sick either. My nanny didn't get sick either. I mean, we were living with that time between doing my blood test and all that. And they all didn't get sick. You know, Dolph results of COVID came negative, and no one showed the symptoms or anything. So it's for me, I see as it's a miracle. And I'm so thankful for that. Really, I am really thankful, because otherwise I don't know how else it could have been. And that was my worry, you know, having the whole house getting sick. You know, I'm grateful. I'm really grateful. And so I'm just thankful. I'm thankful that, you know, God has healed me. You know, the thought of COVID, the thought of, you know, knowing that I have the virus, you know. You look at the numbers and you see people have lost their lives. I mean, this whole thing has been going on since when? Beginning of this year. It scares you. So I'm thankful. I'm just thankful that I've been healed. I mean, here I am. I've been healed. I'm healed. I'm healed. Today it's almost, it's the fourth day or the third day, you know, of isolation and quarantine and healing, and I'm just thankful. You know, I'm also thankful that I had people who stood by me, because there are some battles you can't fight on your own. You can't fight alone. You need others to go on this journey with you, to hold the hand, you know, to hold your hand. And even if I was on isolation, I knew that there were people who were covering me in prayer. I knew there were people who, they would text me voice messages, and, you know, I'm just thankful for all this. Thankful for everyone who prayed with me, for my family. You know, we had people who would cook and leave the food outside by the door, you know, because I was on isolation, but my husband, my nan, and Jasper, they were on quarantine, you know, and everybody was wearing masks in the house and all that, you know, social distancing and, you know, all those things. Nobody was allowed to go out. And so I'm just thankful that really people showed up. People showed up. People, yeah, I'm grateful. I'm grateful. We had food being prepared, left outside. You know, we had people doing our groceries. I had friends send flowers, you know, just people calling and texting. I'm really overwhelmed. And, you know, Dubai Health Authority, oh wow. You know, the love, the empathy, the compassion, the love and the care. You know, these are men and women. They're working 24/7 to make sure that some of us, they're taken care of. I'm just thankful for their life, and, you know, really, I can only pray that God will continue to protect them and keep them safe, because I felt loved. I had numbers of phone calls. I think I had about 5 phone calls from Dubai Health Authority. I had messages, you know, I had, you know, registered in the app, you know, COVID, DXB, Smart COVID app, where I could go there and say, I'm feeling like this or this. They would text me, can we help? How are you today? How was your, you know, they just cared. I felt